Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how we help software development agencies get 2 to 3 new clients in the next 60 days by leveraging our AI outbound prospecting framework. I want you to take away 3 things from today's video. Number one, I want you to walk away fully understanding the exact steps needed to build this AI outbound prospecting framework for yourself and for your business. Number two, how this can help you generate 5 to 20 sales calls in the next 30 days. And how it can help you sign 2 to 3 new projects for your business within the next 60 days. But this video is not for everybody, right? This video is not for you if you don't run a software development agency that work with other companies in the B2B space. It's also not for you if you don't have the capacity to sign any new clients in the next 60 days. And if you don't believe cold emails work, this is also not for you. And if you think cold emails is spamming or illegal, then this video is also not for you. But this video is for you if you run a software development agency, if you want to add an automated system that allows you to generate 5 to 20 qualified sales calls every month, and you want and have the capacity to sign 2 to 3 new clients in the next 60 days, and if right now majority of your sales opportunities and clients have come from either referrals, word of mouth, or paid ads. And in case we haven't met yet, my name is Sean Barnes. I'm the founder here at Tartan Path, and we help software development agencies get highly qualified leads and turn them into long-term paying clients. So let's talk about our AI outbound prospecting framework. And if you follow this AI outbound prospecting framework, these 3 steps will help you get to what you want, which is 2 to 3 new clients in the next 60 days without relying on any referrals or paid advertising. So let's talk about these steps. What are these 3 steps? The 3 steps are: number 1, finding your audience. Number 2, doing all your email domains and account setups and all the infrastructure required. And then number 3 is crafting and managing your entire campaign. So let's talk about the first step in this process, which is finding your audience. And it works a little bit like this. Once we work with you, we identify who you're targeting exactly, what companies, what industry, what location, what people in terms of decision makers do we need to contact in order to be successful. And we want to know, where are they hanging out, right? Where are they? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on emails? Are they on social media in general? Are they on emails? We want the ones that are generally checking their emails regularly, right? So then the third part here is scraping the lead sources. So think about it, right? If we take the first 2 steps of target audience and where they hang out, we take those, we build a leads list, and we make sure that that leads list is clean and has verified information in those lists. This part of the process is the foundation and critical to the success of your entire email campaign, because if you don't target the right people to begin with, in the right audience and the right decision makers and the right location, etc., then it doesn't matter what you do after this, your campaign's not going to be successful. And the other part here is making sure scraping and cleaning leads. This stops any emails going into the spam, and it helps keep the bounce rate of emails down. Like, emails are taken down every day, so it's natural that you won't catch every single one of them. But we found, in terms of, highlighting email accounts as like spam or anything like that, your bounce rate per email account would need to be under like 3%. So it's pretty low. So this part is so important, because if you don't do this, then you're constantly playing the game of, the email account is going in people's junk folder rather than in their inbox. So that's finding your audience. Now let's talk about email domain and account setup. Now this is essentially talking about the entire infrastructure that we build for you. So it looks a little bit like this. So to get set up, we need to first of all buy your domains, so that we can then set up the email accounts under those domains. And then from all of those domains and email accounts, we will then make sure the deliverability is set up. What does that mean? That means that we need to make sure that the accounts are set up in a certain way. We make sure we turn on DKIM, SPF, DMARC, and a few other critical settings to make sure that these email accounts are going to go essentially in people's inbox. So you can have the perfect message and you can have all the domains, but if you don't set it up correctly, you will end up in the spam, and your data will essentially tank, right? Like your reply rates are going to go down, and your even open rates are going to go down. Your clicks will go down. Like, if it's not going in people's inbox, they're not seeing the emails, right? So this is critical. And then let's talk about email warning, the third step here. The email warning piece is incredibly important as well. When email accounts are just set up, it will raise every single red flag you can imagine if you just go and sit and do 20, 30 outbound messages to cold leads on those accounts. Like, they will end up in the spam and they'll get flagged very quickly. So the email warning phase is a way for us to set the accounts up and have activity on the accounts, sending emails internally and obviously within a network. So that's an automated thing, but it's critical to the success of the program, of getting more leads, essentially, right? Like, if you want to get this set up, then you need to get the email warning of 14 days. That is like a non-negotiable. The last part is the outreach copy, right? So what are we going to say in those emails? So it's very important, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into it in a second. But in the outreach copy, we're talking about what is your offer. Like, when we're reaching out to people on your behalf, we will reach out and let them know your offer. So the offer structure really is pretty simple. Mine is what you read at the beginning of this video. It's we help software development agencies to get 2 to 3 new clients in the next 60 days without relying on referrals or paid ads. So it tells me a few things very clearly. Number one, who I helped, and then what is the desired outcome, so 2 to 3 new clients. How long is that going to take? Well, that's going to take 60 days. And then pointing out their pain point and their main reasons based on experience that they're coming to people like us to help them generate more revenue. So the last piece of that is this is there's also a call to action at the bottom, right? So you're giving them your offer, and then you have the call to action at the bottom. The call to action at the bottom is, hey, do you mind if I shoot you over a quick video I created to show you how this works? Or it could be, book a meeting in my calendar, use my calendar link if you've been going back and forth with the prospects. So the main thing here is this. The goal of our email accounts and our campaigns is to get a response back from the person. So the reason I say that is we get a response back from the person, then we can give them links and we can send them PDF documents and other things like that because we've actually had a conversation with this person. So that is our second step in our 3-step process. The first one was just finding the leads. The second one is email domain accounts and setup in terms of the whole infrastructure as well. The third step is crafting and managing your campaign. So following on from previous, when we know what the author is, we obviously work with you on that and we have a call to action. Okay? So we're talking about sending links and the goal is to get a reply. Absolutely that is the goal, to get a reply. Because that takes away anything related to flagging the emails as suspicious, like spam or anything like that. Number one is we send the cold email on this list here where, this is how it would look if we didn't get a response, right? We would send cold email number one, and the first one would be something like this. Very simple, one-liner. Hey Sean, quick question, or quick question Sean, and it will say, is Tartan Path taking on new clients? And of course I could respond to that saying yes. They'll just respond saying yes. They can respond saying, what are you selling? Like, it could be a bunch of different things. You get out of offices. So there's things that we set when people respond into a certain categorization of what their response is. So as we put that to the side for a second, if the email goes out and they don't respond, then we send follow-up one. Now follow-up one is a bit more than just quick question. Follow-up one is really the offer. Hey Sean, we help software development agencies sign 2 to 3 new clients in the next 60 days without relying on referrals or paid ads. I put a video together to show you how this works. Do you mind if I send it to you? Now, we're not sending any links because we've not had an interaction with this person, right? So person doesn't respond again, well, you send follow-up 2, which could reiterate the offer, and it could ask them something along the lines of, are you the right person that I should be reaching out to, or is there maybe somebody else? And then on the fourth one, we're rewording the offer in a different way. And we could potentially do that in step 2, but it depends on kind of the industries are varied in terms of the results that we're getting. But on step 3, we'll typically reword the offer and ask them again, can we send the information to them? And then lastly, we send the breakup email here at the bottom, which is essentially along the lines of, hey, understand, cold outreach or generating more leads is not on top of your priority list. And if it is in the future, let us know, but we're essentially telling them we're not going to contact you anymore, right? So that is the kind of the left-hand side here. We send these follow-ups because we don't, you don't always get a response on the first reply, and many times for myself and for other clients, there's sometimes you send out 2 or 3 emails or 4 emails, and they reply saying, oh yeah, send me the video, yeah, and then you're like, oh okay, right, like it's the 4th email, but so it does happen, and that's why you have to know the kind of ratio or amount of emails to send, because it can vary depending on the different industries that we've worked with. So we know all of that, we've tested that, we've got the data on that to tell us, what's the right approach depending on the company. So as we kind of move into the middle here, we also, when we're talking about managing your campaign, this is inbox management. We manage all the day-to-day emails, questions, objection handling, and we make sure people are qualified, right? Like, when someone emails us back, we'll obviously check it's the right type of company and things like that, so we can say, yes, this is the ideal customer profile that the client or even that I'm after. So when we're talking inbox, we're going to get replies. We categorize those replies, and we have sort of subsequences follow, similar to the follow up 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of methodology, but it's different because if they're interested, we already sent the link, so we're asking them did they watch the video, that type of variation. And then if they're out of office, we have a kind of standard one where we'll wait a certain amount of time, and then it will automatically follow up with that lead so that we don't have to manually do that ourselves. And also, systems are always better than the brain, right? So, anyways, that is the inbox management. We typically get a set of responses and we categorize them, but we are responsible for all the day-to-day management. Essentially, what you want is what's on the right-hand side here, which is booked calls in your calendar. And this is exactly all you need to worry about, because if you get the booked calls in your calendar, you're already generating more leads and then more interest for your offer. And then hopefully a new client in the end, right? So our client numbers are look kind of like what's on the bottom right there. When we talk about the number of emails, I think it's very important for context when we talk about how many people are we reaching out to. We generally can send, because we set it up, we buy, like 15 domains, which is 3 domains, each 15 domains with 3 email accounts under each domain, which is 45 email accounts, and they can send up to about 25, 30 emails a day, and that is around 1,000 emails every single day. And when we get up to speed and we get going, that is exactly how many emails we can send for you, which are totally personalized to the person that we're reaching out to. And that is a lot better than what a lot of the clients that we have that also, like, just from speaking to business owners, they are reaching 20, 30, 40, 50 people a day, and by having their own either SDRs or just doing it themselves if they're a smaller company. So this is hyper focused with, in terms of the details and the personal touch in mind, but then secondary to that is high volume. We're reaching 1,000 people a day, and that is exactly how we get more eyes on what you're offering. There's a couple of rules that we follow when we do these campaigns. Emails must land in the inbox. We make sure of that by doing all the deliverability setup and monitoring and checking all the time. And then volume negates luck. Pretty much what I just said. We're sending more than 1,000 emails a day, which then means you're getting that opportunity 1,000 times a day to get in front of someone that is a decision maker who is in the right line of business to what you're tracking. The messages are also personalized, like I mentioned. But we're getting from our clients, we're typically getting 70 to 80% open rates, and we're getting minimum 10% reply rates, but right now we're sitting around about double that, I would say. But when I wrote this, we're more this area, but we're now, I would say, higher than that. But if you look at the math based on 1,000 emails a day, right? Like, it's 1,200 emails to get one call, but typically speaking, right? Like, it averages out. And then, if you look at your positive responses, you get 20 calls booked by really sending 25,000 plus emails in a time period, right? Like, if you're doing 20 calls, is this 90 emails, right? Like, if you think about these other businesses who are only doing 30, 40, 50 in terms of their cold outreach, like, they're not going to get to this level, and volume negates luck. We've proved it time and time again with our clients in this space. So, and then, assume that 75% show up with good kind of pre-nurturing once they book the call. That's a very big part of what we do as well, the pre-nurturing, and that's why we had 75% or more showing up, because we're sending them case studies, we're sending them information, we're pre-nurturing them with a video to show them that, hey, we're serious about chatting with you, and here is more about us, And then let's say you close a quarter, maybe a fifth or a third of those people, there's your 3 clients, right? And that's um, our email crafting and managing of your campaign. So with that in mind, and if you implemented every single thing I showed you here, then you will have what you need to build your own outbound prospecting framework. However, if you do this yourself, you have to build out the entire process, all the sequences and all that stuff, and buying all the domains and the email accounts. It can take a long time up front. And then you'll need to test different copy and email copy to make sure that these ones are hitting, because the structure is one thing, but sometimes that structure might not work for certain types of companies or certain campaigns or with certain offers. So our expertise in this area will allow us to create a good, well-performing email copy. We mentioned earlier in this video that we would have around 45 email accounts, so you'd have to also manage them all at the same time to make sure you're on top of your prospects. And what I've typically found when working with other clients is they miss crucial steps to ensure emails don't end up that we make sure emails don't end up in the spam, because we know all the steps required in order to make sure that these are set up so that we don't go in the spam folder. So we turn on the DMARC, the STS, we put in the relevant DNS records, we make sure we're doing what's called spin taxing in the emails so that it's not sending the same thing or even a similar thing to other people. Like, we take all these measures to make sure that before and during the email campaign that this doesn't happen. And of course, there's testing. Different strategies, what we talked about with the authors and how you write your emails. Like, it just takes a while and it takes time to get those strategies. And if you don't want to do that, or you don't want to go through that, you can work with us. And our fulfillment process looks a little bit like this. Number one, we have an onboarding call and an onboarding process to make sure that our expectations are aligned and that we know exactly who you're targeting and exactly who your the clientele you're looking for. We look at your offer and we help you get to the punchline of great offers for us to essentially do the email marketing for you. And then secondly, we do all the setup, right? Like, we set up the DMS, DKIM on the emails, we do the warm-up for 14 days so that the email accounts have some activity and that you don't end up in the spam. And with the author stuff we talked about before, we make sure we craft the perfect copy for you that are irresistible offers for your potential clients. And we make sure we source, clean, and verify all the leads so that you are not going into the spam folder and you're not getting a crazy bounce rate because the emails are not valid. And then thirdly, we do a launch call before we get going on your email campaign. We walk you through your entire system, walking you through how it all works, how it all goes together, what are your offers that you're sending out, all of the copy, all of the sequences, everything. We show you all of that, and when we get that started out, we need to make sure we tell you exactly how things are going, and we back that up with our data, right? We have weekly reporting, we have daily reports of positive replies, how we're optimizing your campaign based on what, when we're like reaching out to people, what emails are getting opened more than others, so we can then double down on the ones that are working to ensure that you are getting the highest success rate possible. So what does that look like for clients? We deliver this for them. What does the after state look like for them? Well, we have multiple acquisition channels. The clients are running at the same time and they're generating at least 1 to 10 warm prospects per week in addition to what they already have. And they're not wasting any time testing channels to see what's working. We set up the entire process that we know that works because we're in this game all the time. And then the third, automated inbox management. The people don't need to worry about how they're going to get the calls. They just need to be on the call. Everything else we take care of for you. And they no longer, their clients no longer need to spin their wheels. They have a system that really makes it unreasonable, based on the volume negates luck theory, that it's not possible for them not to generate interest daily for their offers. And we make sure we optimize all of these systems for you so that you don't have to worry about a thing. So, if you want to learn more, click the link below to book a call, and we can discuss how our AI outbound prospecting framework can benefit you.